Full Size Podcast. You love it. You're in love with the show.
I love shows.
I love podcasting. Spring is in the air. It's already almost spring.
Dude, that tastes so smoky.
Love is in the air in springtime. Everybody loves spring.
Was everyone's Valentine's Day nice?
Yeah.
We
Okay.
don't celebrate.
Is spring almost here, or was it just Valentine's Day? We can't be both.
Well, it was both.
Yeah, spring. Well, spring is here. We passed Valentine's Day, and
Well,
now
this song makes me think of Valentine's
everything's growing.
Yeah, it's getting warm outside again.
The animals
soon.
are being frisky with one another.
Starting
Birds and the
seedlings.
bees.
Yeah.
I never understood the birds and the bees, like the bees hump or something.
Nah, that's because we didn't have a formal introduction of that from our parents, so that's their
Yeah.
fault.
Well, no one really knows.
I never learned the birds and the bees.
The bees is that's the interesting.
bees is the weird
angle
part.
of it. Yeah.
Wait, the stinger is the bee penis thing?
There's no way they sting their partner. I know how the birds do it because we've had birds have babies at our house.
Yeah.
When we were little, we had the society finches. Did you ever hear them? They literally beep. They go beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. Okay.
And they got on top of each other and laid several eggs. We had like 3 generations of
Don't they have like
babies.
weird coiled penis? Like birds have
Ducks
weird
do.
coiled wieners?
Ducks have
do.
weird
Yeah.
penises.
Weird wieners.
We are
Yeah.
a minute into this episode.
Yep.
We're already talking
We
about
jumped
penises.
right into it.
Why does it always?
No, it usually goes to poop.
It
So
is fascinating though.
Why is it always?
Yeah.
So we're trying to talk about dating, and the first
Soup
we talk
to
about
save
is
a
penises
Lillian.
and poop. So don't listen to this podcast if you're about to go on a date. Okay, so that's the thing we wanted to talk about. We're thinking spring is in the air. We're all pretty wrapped up in the dating scene right now. We're done with that for a long time. But
Yeah.
it's nice to reminisce and look back in hindsight and realize, like, oh wow, that was dumb, or that was cool, or I used to do it this way, and like,
Yeah, it's the
How
building blocks of
society-
love.
and how society influenced the way you used to do things too. Like social media's got to make it so different.
It's
now.
so
Oh, yeah.
cringy to go back and think of what you thought was cool and what women wanted and what they were impressed by and like the shit that they actually are impressed by, how distant you were
God,
from that actual thought.
like when we looked at our old MySpace pictures a couple episodes ago, or like a year
Yeah.
ago. Remember that?
Yeah, that's
And it was
embarrassing.
like that was the way to do it. That was your peacocking, right? Was this is my best representation of myself. I'm putting
Oh my
that as my
God.
profile picture.
You want to know an
for
example
girls
of that?
to see?
I had a brown pair of cargo shorts. This is going back way back, 2008 maybe, or 2000. When did I graduate high school? 2006. I had a pair of brown cargo shorts that I thought were like that. That's what I look nice.
That's
in.
your-
I
that's
was
your
ripped.
thing.
I was tearing shit
Yeah.
up in them bad boys.
Yeah.
I had that brown shorts and I had a regular old T-shirt. But I went to Lids in the mall and I bought a San Diego Padres hat that was the same brown color as the shorts because I wanted to match.
I like
My
that.
Uncle Tom, Tommy's dad, was like, "The hell are you wearing what are you wearing a Padres hat for? Aren't you like a big Phillies guy?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." I was like, "Yeah, but it matches the shorts. Like, it
Yeah.
looks nice." He's like,
It
"The fuck
looks
you worrying
nice,
about matching the hat
but
to your
it
shorts?"
looks
It was an
nice.
adult that had been in the world of marriage for like 20 years.
Yeah.
Looking at me
Imposing.
like, "Dude, what are you doing?" Like, he was like, "Take that fucking shit off." Like fuck, Hollister and
it's-
puka beads. Like,
The length you went to impress.
well, what you thought would impress, but then it realized
Yeah.
at the end it was like that doesn't mean anything.
No.
No girl
So-
was like, "He's so nice, but his hats don't match."
It just when you were talking about like your profile pictures and putting on what you thought girls like and stuff like
Yeah.
that, it made me look back at my profile pictures, and I just remembered this moment where I'd broken up with a long-term girlfriend for 3.5 years, and every Facebook post matters a little bit when all these girls are there too.
Oh.
If you're not out and about.
Oh God.
So I'm posting profile pictures, selfies, whatever. 10, 2 likes, 4 likes, 6 likes, and then we went to the bird preserve with mom.
The Plainsboro
Plainsboro
Bird Preserve. Yeah.
Preserve, where it's this big park where you walk around and you bird watch.
Yeah.
Nikki took a picture of me in my aviators, and I posted it. 40 likes, all mostly girls, and I was like, "What happened? I
Ego time.
didn't plan this.
Yeah.
Like I didn't plan this picture out at all."
That was big pimping. That was big pimping.
My point is I didn't make that. I didn't craft what I thought they wanted.
Right.
It was like a natural, here's me. And I was like, that was like the biggest ego boost I ever got.
Right.
Was that moment where I was like, oh my God, she
Yeah.
liked it. She was so popular in high school. What is she doing looking at my photos? Like,
Right,
this is
right.
cool. You know what I mean? Especially on the heels of a breakup. That was like a big, like,
Do you
fuck
still wear
yeah.
aviators today?
Yes.
There you go.
I sure do. I do, but not exclusively, but I do. Yes.
Yep. There it is.
Very much do.
Yep.
Tyler, it was cool because Tyler would have like, he'd have a girlfriend, and that was like his phone. He would go to work, and the girlfriend, like that was just you were. I was envious of how like streamlined and simple your life was back then.
I was.
He would, and then in between breakups, he was just like straight up sleeper cell. He would go to work, come home, play video games, go to bed. Like it was just like like Android. It was so sick.
I do think back to the time
You were so good at
that. Thanks.
It's a sleeper cell. This is
Thank
in
you.
airplane mode.
I'm in airplane mode. Doing nothing. I'm robotic.
No, but you didn't let it. At least you didn't show it. You didn't let it affect you the way that it affected me, dude. I remember.
I'm just good at hiding it. My mind was very active.
Dude, the crippling effect of there she is forever, and then it ends, and you're like, dude, I just can't live now. Like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah.
like that
Like how that
crippling
hopelessness.
feeling. Yes.
And you know what's so funny? I remember being in that moment when like fresh off a breakup, I'm like, this is the worst I've ever felt, and it'll never get better. You know who fucking said something? They were talking on Preston Steve about how, what was it? Nick crawled into his ex-girlfriend's bedroom or something.
Oh my god.
Broke into their house.
Oh,
and Preston at the end of it was like, it gets better, gang. Don't worry. He like went on like this 2-minute thing, like a pep talk that I desperately needed at the moment.
Yeah.
About how breakups, it gets better. Just wait it out.
This isn't the end of the world.
And it really helped like a lot. I remember I was working at Best Buy then. And like, you know, it's the kind of thing, it's like, you don't go, as a guy anyway, you don't like go to like, hey dad, my heart's broken. Like you don't do that.
I'd be like, shut up,
so
go to
it was
work.
in my head, and he said it, and I was just like, that's what I needed to fucking hear, you know?
Yeah.
I remember that moment really well.
Did
yeah,
you, I feel like none of us, I never could be like all the things that give us that inner turmoil, like oh my god, she's cheating on me, or oh my god, she's lying. Like I'm 37 years old. I've never cheated on anybody. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do that to somebody because I knew what that felt like. Thinking
I'm too guilty of a person to regard, like I'm too guilty of conscience to do anything even remotely close to that. I swear.
like
So what we were talking about was dating and what's different about it now, and like some stories, some juicy stories, whatever kind of good stuff we have from back in the day.
oh, for sure. There's a ton.
And I got some funny videos later that we can
Ton.
poke fun out. There was a lot of dating advice videos as soon as videotapes came out. So
You
I have a
remember
couple of
the
them.
first time you found interest in the in what you found interested in?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what?
Was it like
I was in
third
my
grade?
Third grade, yeah.
Third grade, yeah.
We were playing dodgeball in the gym at school, and there was a girl I liked, and I'm not gonna say who
You followed her?
No, she follows me.
Oh.
Nah, dude.
Into her bedroom.
We were
Yeah.
playing dodgeball, and she was up ahead of me. I was in the back. Dodgeball, there was two. There was the attack,
Two rows.
and then the gainers.
Yeah.
I would get a ball, and she would turn around, and she'd be like, oh, and I'd throw the ball to her. Like we were a team.
So same team.
Yeah, dude,
Got
it
it,
was
yeah.
awesome. I was like, that was so great how I got those balls and threw them to you.
Do you
I was
remember
like,
that?
I was like, that was cool, right? Like, I could do other cool stuff. I remember trying to tell her, like trying for her to know, like, yo, I go home when I'm not in school. I'm fucking skateboarding every day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like,
like Tony Hawk. I'm
dude,
like Tony
You would
Hawk.
have to go out of your way to try to prove those things too.
Well, when
Oh,
they
yeah.
would,
You didn't
when,
have the demonstration in front of you.
Yeah, be like, look that.
well,
over
the
there.
thing in,
Like,
in
try to
our
make it
school
up.
was
Yeah.
I was a walker. So there was a bunch of kids that
Yeah.
lived in school that would walk, and
walk
if you wanted to bring your skateboard, you could. If you rode your bike, you could.
Mm-hmm.
So I was always like, I gotta dip out of here. I got my skateboard with me, bro. So I gotta get out of
You're
here.
cool like Bart Simpson.
And every once in a while, the kids that would take the buses, which was always like the cuter girls, were always the ones that lived away from school. They would go into town. They would walk into town and skip the buses. And their
Yeah,
parents
there would
pick
be
them
like
up.
an event for them to
Yeah.
go walk in town. Yeah,
And I remember
we
I
just walked past. Every
I remember
day.
there was a group of them girls walking by the bridge in Allentown. I had my skateboard and I scooted by them. I was like, "Excuse me," like scooted by them, and I fucking fell and ate shit right in front of them at the bridge.
Oh yeah.
Like hard fit, like
Oh,
big fail, like massive face plant.
That's
Never forget
funny.
that.
What about you, Phil?
Well, that just reminded me of a memory. I tried to do a bike jump, and then my peg sliced my like calf open, and I got to get like stitches
pegs.
right in front of a girl.
Yeah.
Pegs were pivotal, bro.
I think it was Mara. I don't remember. Yeah, but she's a political pundit. So
Okay.
Oh, cool.
yeah.
For me, it happened the reverse.
Slashing policy.
For me, it happened the reverse because like I don't
It was
know.
men?
I don't know what it was, but it was like I just developed everything late. Like as far as like my,
You did, and I always was
I was
wondering.
like a kid really late. I was like I still am kind of a kid, but like as far as my interest in girls and stuff, didn't really peak till like 5th grade.
Tyler, you have 17 Game
Well, yeah,
Boys
that's
on
when it
display
was
in your basement.
weird.
But what was weird about it was that like I It was more towards the end, like towards 6th grade or so. But there was a friend of mine who was a girl who was very like infatuated with me at the time.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted nothing
He
to
was
do with
not
that.
having
I
it.
wanted to be her friend, and like it was like, you know how like when somebody like, oh, kiss, it was like someone said kiss, like my face would turn flush red, like I do not want to do, you know what I mean? Like as a kid, that was terrifying, and I was still in that mindset of girls. Horrifying. I'm not there. I'm watching SpongeBob. I'm playing in the backyard.
Fast forward 15 years later, I'm playing Pokemon Go with the same girl at fucking Princeton University. Like, hey, you were my brother Tyler's friend.
He knows who I'm talking about, and it's just, I feel horrible because like instead of addressing it head on and saying I'm not interested, I just like kept ignoring her. Everywhere, even though we were in every class together. And like even like she sat next to me at the bus one time, and I got up and sat with my mom instead. We were going to Stokes. We were going to and like, it was so obvious. It was so obvious that I got up after she sat down.
You came to sit with me.
It was bad, man. It was bad. I still feel horrible about that, but like
you should have, dude. Okay, I'll say this:
I was a 5th grader.
In
what do you
hindsight,
want from me?
you should have addressed it head on, but you're 5th grader, so you didn't. But I remember that time period in your life, and I remember Dad fucking with you about it. You're like,
yeah, because my dad was friends with the family of the girl, so he always had, and he would always poke at it a little bit, like I fucking want nothing to do with this, man. It was horrible.
I had very similar experience. Like this girl did like me, and then funny enough, like 10 years later, knockout. Like
really?
Sure enough, like I was like, yeah, you're a shallow fuck, aren't you, Phil? Yep. You always were.
That's exactly what it was.
Like hearing signals at that age is just so tough. I remember when I got to like the end of high school, I was not a looker. I wasn't a good looking guy.
Yeah.
But dude, I remember in senior year, I was like, I'm gonna really miss you. Like you were always so funny. Like if you want to hang out, I'm like, now you tell, like, what the fuck?
Like totally missed those signals.
Like,
I totally
had my
missed those
farmer's
signals.
license. I could have driven a year before all y'all motherfuckers. Like, we could have gone done some shit.
I just remembered, speaking of mixed signals, and this can actually spiral into this can actually spitball into the next one of the topics we wanted to discuss, which was proms. But the 8th grade dance was a big pre-prom,
big time.
And I remember ours was casino theme. It was in the gym. They decorated the gym, a casino.
Let's get gambling.
Mr. Scatoro was the history teacher, but he dressed up like Elvis.
Bro, chill. Bro, chill.
Okay, he's okay. And he dressed up like Elvis and this and
John
that.
Tyler had a crush on him.
Anyway,
What?
I remember. I think I brought it up before. I'm trying to talk here. What is happening?
I just said you had a crush on your principal. Sorry.
He was not the principal.
But you had a crush on him.
Yeah.
All right.
No. See, thank you.
He likes SpongeBob.
I feel we're talking about mixed signals.
Oh yeah.
I remember very vividly. I might have talked about it last time we talked about dating on here. Remember when PJ was on and we were talking about using dating apps and stuff?
Oh yeah. Fun convo.
I was dancing on the dance floor with friends and stuff, and then this girl who I never really spoke to before started dancing with me, and I thought she was making fun of me, and I left. And it turns out she like really liked me, and I didn't know. And I found out
Can you give me
years
initials?
later. No, you don't know her.
I might.
I'm already editing this episode. Her name was. And
I know exactly who that is.
Me too.
Yeah.
Very, very, very pretty. And I was like, "There's no way she's actually doing this to like because she's doing it because she's making fun of me." So I left. I was like, I'm not letting you make fun of me.
Speaks to your confidence levels.
Yeah.
Wait, since we're in the editing mode, if this part wants to get edited too, it's fine. But Tyler had a little fling thing with somebody in our neighborhood, and when I found out who it was, I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, yo, man, that's so sick,
nice.
bro."
Yeah.
It was so awesome because the girl, like, I was like, "That girl?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like,
I don't know how.
Whoa.
She messaged me. I didn't talk to her or nothing, and she just like started texting me or on Facebook message.
Dude, and it was cool, like cool. Like I was like, what
it was funny because
fuck?
I was thinking about deleting Facebook one day so you can download all your data and save it on your computer. And I didn't know it also does all the messages. So I just like poked in and I randomly clicked, and it was the message that she sent me before we hooked up.
What did she say? Like, come over?
Yeah, she's like, "Come on, I got 2 beers. Let's go." I'm like, "Okay." So I came over and we
2
went on a
beers
walk.
is all it took.
What grade was this?
No, this was like before I started dating Courtney.
Okay.
This was like 2013. The point was just like I saw those messages from that day, and I was like, "Fuck Fuck yeah, man. That was awesome. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Phil?
You might be too young, but I don't remember if you remember like AOL chat rooms.
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm pretty sure I was an intended victim of some kind of thing because, all right, so long story short.
I am 6 inches. Sorry, I don't date midgets.
So like, yeah, I had this ongoing, I had this ongoing conversation with this girl. I don't remember her name. I do remember her sending me a photo of her, and then I printed it in my. And I printed it, and then I stored it in my like CD case in the.
So it wouldn't be found.
Yeah. So that's all. That's one of the things that I remember from back in the day.
Victim.
Like nothing ever came of it, but I told a ton of people. I was like, "Yeah, she's my girlfriend," and probably a 40-year-old man. But either way, long story short, yeah, I kept that photo in my thing until I was like 13 years old.
Senior year, there was a girl in my school. There was a girl in my school who was a senior, and she drove, and she was super cool. And we had, dude, I was a sophomore.
How old were you? Okay.
I was a sophomore. She was a senior, but she was always like, you're so funny. Like I had nothing going on but being funny and just being like kind of like I like to fish and hunt or not hunt but like off-road.
Selena Gomez's husband.
Like just like a fucking knock around dude. That's all I was. Yeah, Benny Blanco. Yeah, same shit. Yeah. But she was like, oh, I'll give you rides home from school if you want. You don't have to walk. I'm like, no, sick. I don't have to drive my bike. Fuck yeah. Like I didn't even read it as that. Yeah. So one day Dad was home from work. He was like, he had like a doctor's appointment or something. He was literally in the front yard watering the plants. And she dropped me off. My dad's like, who's that? I was like, it's my friend from school. He's like, is her car? He's like, yeah. He's like, she's a senior? I was like, yeah, she's driving you home for. I was like, oh, we're friends. Like, we have a good time. He's like, why don't you go somewhere else besides home after school? I remember he said that. He's like, why don't you go somewhere else?
Yeah.
And then one time, speaking of dating, keeping it with Dad, I dated a girl for a long time, and we used to just play like Mario Kart and shit down in the basement all the time. Dad had a talk with me. He's like, you know, you're not really going to keep a girl around if you just play video games with her all the time. I was like, well, she likes Mario. Like, we play Mario Kart Wii just came out. He's like, I was like, Dad, this game's fucking sick. Like, you have no idea. Like, I'm Yoshi in the Monk Bite. I'm winning every fucking race.
Video
like,
games aren't blocks
he's
on
like,
Atari like when you were dating.
He's like, go out, like, take her out and go do stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, all right. Like, what do you mean? He's
Tummy
like,
sticks.
He's pretty much telling me, like, get the fuck out of the house, take this girl out because she's not going to stick around. You play video games. She liked video games too, so it worked out. But I dated that girl for like 5 years, 4 or 5 years. But
Dad was always very in tune to those kind of things. Like, he would say hi before he came into the room.
Yeah.
Like, into our bedroom.
Our dad, I'll tell you this.
He's very good with that.
Erections down?
Our parents don't listen.
Erections down, hands up.
Our parents don't listen, but I'll say this. My dad... He was so conducive to me. He was so conducive to us, like, having girls. I remember I got my first car. He's like, keep a couple blankets in there. My mom's like, yes, because if you're drunk. And
yeah, that was always like, oh, if you get stuck in a snowbank, right?
He's like, yeah, the fucking snowbanks and storms
that
around
did happen
here.
to my dad. He had to use all the blankets.
Oh,
it's like
did it really?
Like Disney on Ice.
Never mind.
He broke down.
Never mind.
Well, my dad would come
downstairs. He was getting cozy by himself.
Yeah. My dad would come and say, hey, he'd flicker cozy. The lights. Like he knew.
Oh, yeah, he would flicker the lights.
Mom would be like, Mom would sneak down. Hey, what's going on down here? Yeah, like she'd fucking
he's
blow
he's more of your wingman than she was.
Dad'd be like, hey, I just have to go in the workroom real quick. Be down here. Like he was so fucking cool about it.
Yeah.
I remember the workroom one. Yep.
Do you remember when everyone started making out in your school?
Oh, dude, making out.
You would go to like parties.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was
I never went to a party.
It was like a spectacle.
Or for a party in general. I never went to a party in general.
Yeah.
I never went to like a high school party. Nope.
I went to
that completely.
A couple. I'm not like. Whatever.
I went to ones I could ride my bike to because I had a lot of my parents.
Exactly.
Going to Joe's.
You do those. You go to
church.
And then anytime, for me at least, there would be like, all right, you're making out. Everyone crowd around and watch people make out.
Ew.
What?
Yeah.
That's Pennsylvania shit.
No, I was in Jersey.
It's Amish.
Jersey.
Ew, bro.
Yeah. And then
I was in Jersey. It was Patterson, right?
Yeah, no, it was Marlton. So that's one of my memories of like I never made out in front of people. I don't remember like that, but the first kiss was definitely a weird experience for sure.
Dude, my first kiss was like straight
so
make out.
Awkward.
Mm-hmm.
It was
great. It was a great moment in my life.
Hell yeah.
The tension is akin to like a hunt on Discovery Channel when you watch the cheetah fucking
damn nature, you scary.
It's just like, who's gonna make the first move? Who's gonna make the first move?
Yeah. I was never make the move guy because I didn't want to. My thing was I didn't want to make her uncomfortable.
Did you
and
ask?
scare her away.
I asked.
I did. Yeah.
I didn't. I was so afraid to make it uncomfortable that they had to do it each time.
Oh yeah.
First,
Yeah.
actually,
That's not.
I had 1 2-year relationship, 1 3-year. Then I fooled around, and then now Courtney, who I've been with for 10 years now.
Wow.
Already.
Dude, I had a fool around period
And
too.
each one of them made the first move.
Yeah.
Each one of them.
I worked at
I'm
ShopRite,
stupid.
bro.
I don't know.
I just went right
When
for
I
the
first,
butthole. What?
when I first,
For the butthole.
so fucking.
Sorry.
That's good.
Butthole.
When I moved out to this apartment, and I
was doing a Jim look to the camera.
when I bought my
Yeah.
apartment in 2012, I was making like fucking $800 a week. It was barely enough to just make rent. You know what I mean? I was paying
What, you live on your own?
$1,500 a month, whatever. And I panicked, and I was like, "Oh, I'm going to put money into my 401k." I was living at home, so I was putting 17% of my money into my 401k.
Yikes.
But you can only change it every 6 months.
Yeah.
So I got my first paycheck, wrote my rent check. I had $41. I'll never forget that. I had $41 left the last 2 weeks. So I was like, "Fuck, I got to do something." So I go to the ShopRite in Lawrenceville, and I'm like, "Can I work like 4 nights a week from like 6 to midnight?" And they let me. I worked like 25 hours a week on top of working at the welding shop.
I remember working the shop, right? Yeah.
Dude, that fucking year of in ShopRite, that was like
Oh my
6
God.
different flings, people fighting, because I had the day job. I had the I had like all this shit going on that nobody else at ShopRite had except ShopRite. Dude, it was like 3 flings, 2 girlfriends, and 1 like long-term thing. What I'm getting at is that fling period actually helps you with the self-development of what you actually really want.
sure.
If I didn't have that, I would have prioritized different things.
Yeah.
Had I not lived on my own, had I not gone through those things, it was a range of ages too.
Yeah,
It was younger
exploring
ones,
pretty
older
much,
ones.
finding your likes and dislikes.
Yeah.
That's
It was
how you do
such
it.
a crucial part to my development, mentally, like physically, like all intimately. It was so
like-
important.
Stay away from this. Go towards this. Stay away from this. Go towards this.
Yeah.
Stay away from this.
Her
Yeah.
dad
this,
said
and this.
that. That's fucking gonna
Her
ruin
dad's
it.
hot. What?
Yeah.
And prom for me too was strange because I dated outside of high school. My girlfriend at the time was from a different high school, so
Yeah.
I didn't.
That's
care
a
about
lie
the
you told
social-
everyone? No.
I did, well, that's the thing. I didn't care about the social
She
thing
goes
going
to
on.
a different school.
I brought her to my prom.
That's the best
Yeah,
lie
yeah.
ever.
So
She
she
goes to a
existed?
different school. She doesn't have a Facebook.
That's what so many people said at prom. They're like, "Oh my gosh, she's real," because they thought I was making her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what Kevin
I was
said.
totally removed from the whole social, the whole the social environment in school.
It was
in
probably
senior year.
so sick.
like
Because
when
I would
everyone was
only care
asking
about-
everyone out.
Yeah.
like, you
Yeah,
I didn't have to do any. I didn't do any of that because I dated outside of high school. I was with her from the end of sophomore year through senior year. That's pretty much when the dating like that, all that stuff happens. So I didn't care. But did you guys go to both of your proms?
I wasn't allowed.
You weren't allowed to
I had
prom.
too
Why?
many points. Yeah.
Too many points. What did you get points for? Handing in homework. And,
remember in high school you would get points.
yeah, for
You would
bad
get
stuff.
demerits.
Yeah.
So
I remember, yeah.
I got demerits for. So it doesn't. I'm not saying it's a cool thing, but I would leave school early. Like my senior year, we had block scheduling, so it was 3 classes or 4 classes a day. And in senior year, I would do 3 classes a day, and then my 4th block was my job. It was like a work program, and I took care of my grandfather. I would literally drive to his house. I had to log my hours and all that. And every once in a while, he'd have an appointment. I'd have to skip out and dip out of math. And I'd get caught. They'd call mom. And I got a lot of demerits for leaving school early. So they paved the senior parking lot, and I had 3 cars in high school. It was sick. I had this little like side business going. I had this S10 pickup truck. Remember my little white S10?
Oh yeah, that was the junker one that you did your
Junker
junking
truck.
with.
So it was stick, and I would drop it down and chirp
Yeah,
the truck
hop
tire.
the wheels. Yeah.
So the big thing was the school passed this thing, and they got the whole senior lot paved. Everybody had a parking spot now. You had to draw for a spot as a senior. There was 300 seniors, but only 100 parking spots, so you had to draw. And our class was the first class where everyone got a parking spot.
That parking lot's big.
Big deal.
Yeah.
So who went up there and burned out in that parking lot and tore it up and fucking destroyed it? Oh, Kyle and his S10 pickup truck. I have a ticket from the Allentown Police Department on 420 doing a burnout in the school parking lot. And they towed my truck. I didn't get arrested, but they fucking had to drive me home. I got so many points. I got in so much trouble. I wasn't allowed to park at school anymore. I had enough points. I couldn't go to my prom. There was a couple kids that were not allowed to go, and I was one of them. So, and I regret that.
At least you didn't have to worry about asking a girl out to prom, though. And
dude, there was 3 that wanted to go. And 2 of them were ones I would have, like you said, like, whoa, you messaged me? Like, what the fuck?
Right.
2 of them were like, whoa, you're messing with me. You're messing with me.
It must be a joke.
It's got to be a joke. And they're like, oh, no, you're funny. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yep.
We go to our own prom. We'll go to fucking Red Robin.
Let's go to AMC. What about you, Phil?
Yeah. I had no prospects at prom, so I was like waiting out. I was like kind of like feeling out statistically which one would be most likely to say yes.
The corporate mindset set in early.
That's important because like the rejection is way worse than not going at all. So so you want to make sure if you ask, they're going to say yes.
No, rejection was the worst. Staying home playing video, playing Halo 2 would have been so sick. Like,
brutal. And then knowing that every one of my friends was already in a relationship prior. So the prom house was going to be, which it turned out to be anyways. So anyways, I asked this girl, she's my friend, prom, big poster boards in the back of my second seat.
You did the promposal thing?
Yeah. So I was driving at the time. I picked her up and I go, oh, can you get that thing on the back of my seat? And it just said prom in big letters, question mark, all that shit. So she said yes, but again, she was my friend, so she didn't stay at the house. So I was the only guy in the house that didn't have a date.
Donnie Dick in hand.
Yeah, so I was just like, Donnie Dick in hand is quite adequate for appropriate. Yeah,
that's what I didn't want to happen. I didn't want to have a date to prom, go to a party, and be like, "All right, see ya."
Yeah,
because I knew that would have happened. Because I wasn't. I was outgoing with jokes, having fun, drinking a few beers, but with weed and drugs and shit, I didn't get into that until after school because it was so like I saw so many families get fucked up from drugs. So I just was like afraid of it.
Yeah,
and that we lost 2 kids in my senior class died from like drinking and driving. They had weed in their system and they just pushed it on. I just wasn't into smoking weed at that time. So as soon as a party had that, I felt like the outlier. So I would just distance myself from it. So I can see that being like,
it is a weird. It's a weird dynamic, the whole thing now. And like
Tyler came home high one time, and I called him out.
I did not. I swear to God, you still say that I was. I was at my friend's house, and it's a horse farm, and they have like 6 cats, and I was helping them shovel the horse shit out of the stalls. My allergies were through the roof, and because my eyes were so red and itchy, he's like, "You're high. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth." And he wouldn't drop it. I got so pissed, I smashed our dining room chair.
You tried to. I grabbed it.
No, you didn't. It fell apart.
Yeah, we had to fix it together.
Yeah.
In the middle of him being upset that I accused him of being high and me still thinking it was high, we had to fix a chair.
Oh, God, it pissed me off so bad because I was just like you, and I was so against it. I was so drilled into my head that like it's not a good time. And not to mention, actually, at that point, I probably have tried it already.
Oh, yeah.
And it wasn't as big a deal anymore. And I still was like, dude, I'm not fucking high. Would I fight with you this sharply if I was stoned off my ass right now? Like, whatever. But it's a weird dynamic now with dating, and I know it's a lot different now. But what I wanted to touch on the second half of the episode was dating in the past. We were going to touch on the 90s a little bit. We're going to go all the way back to the Victorian era, and I also have some found footage of the 80s.
Hell yeah!
Dating videos from the 80s.
Nice, I love it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Stick around, more Full Slice. Phil? It looked like you were about to say
something. Oh, no. I was Bye. Bye. Take a break.
Bye.
He goes, Phil, yeah, you're good, Phil. Sorry.
Coming in loud and clear is Full Slice Podcast. Oh, yeah. What are you listening to? You're listening to Full Slice Podcast. Duh.
Hey, this is Riley Cote, and you're listening to the Full Slice Podcast.
There we go. Yes. So, we're talking dating and all the things around it, at least from our perspective. Might not be very
in the snowshine.
May not be very good sample. Since we're
I
the
like
best
hearing
dating.
people's dating stories.
It's all juicy stuff, you know.
I like watching.
You like watching people date? Hey, can you guys date in front of me?
You know what's funny, dude? We talk about like talking about this stuff. Like our parents never gave us like the sit down and talk about this. My dad's like,
What?
you know where babies come from? I was like, yeah.
That.
He's like, all right, just be careful. Like that was our talk.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
you
didn't get
didn't
a talk.
have the-
No, dude, school did it for us.
Yeah.
To tie into
health
our
class.
to tie into our most recent episode, it was during Monster Trucks. Me and Dad were watching the World Finals in 2022 or
See how that monster truck goes up? That's
2002. I mean,
like when blood goes into your penis, it'll be a wreck.
Dad's
Just
like-
The 3 years ago,
no,
Dad tells
dude,
you.
Dad
checks.
No, Dad just goes. Dad goes. He's like, so because I had a girl, like kind of had a girlfriend kind of thing at the time. I was freshman in high school. He's like, so you know the whole baby thing, right? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, just be careful. Do that
And
great
you know
digger
what?
sick.
That's
Like-
good. That's good. That's a good time to do it. Then
was perfect.
Then you can instantly pivot to the TV.
You know when it
again.
was? I remember oddly, Nickelodeon boy over here, Tyler. It was the reboot of, or the relaunch of Ren and Stimpy when they came back out with it. Remember they did away with Ren and Stimpy for a
Yeah.
while?
I didn't remember that. I was too little.
And then they came back out with it. It was like this huge thing.
Wasn't
Like,
on
the
my radar.
re-release of Ren and Stimpy. It was
Yeah.
like fucking sick. Dad loved Ren and Stimpy.
I remember that.
So I remember when they re-released a little bit on MTV for a hot second.
Dude,
remember
I
that.
have the
think that's what
DVD
it was.
box set. You cannot get some of those episodes because of how controversial they are.
Yeah.
I have them all. They're so good.
Yeah, they're crazy.
Eggyokyo.
Eggyokyo. I remember
one?
that.
Yeah.
Speaking of controversial, some dating concepts of the past were quite controversial.
And it's true when you think about it, like, because they used to treat women like Fabergé eggs.
Yeah.
Like very fragile flowers.
Yes.
Like you can't even look at this girl unless you get my permission, kind of shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Like they were weird.
Yeah.
Like I dug up this article because I knew we were going to do this, and I was like, dating had to have, like, I don't even think it really existed. I think it was courting.
Yeah.
It was just like you're
was
planning to be with this girl forever.
Gentlemen callers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was weird. So like they had these weird things where you had to because it was so frowned upon to even be considered somebody who was going to try multiple suitors before you found the one.
fuck
You
around.
had to talk in secret codes with
Well,
everybody, right?
Everything was business back then. His father is in fuel. You should date him.
French aristocrats communicated their desires with fake beauty marks called mouches, M-O-U-C-H-E-S.
Sure.
They pasted black
Lu-
velvet patches on their faces, like beauty marks. And the placement signified the interest.
So it's like the Crips with their blood drops. Or
Women who wanted to create,
teardrops.
only a lot more benign. Women
He's
who
a
wanted
leader.
to-
He's got 3 teardrops.
So, like, if you wanted to create the impression of impishness, they put it on the corner of their mouth.
Are you impish or admirable?
I am impish. Can you imagine going to the bar?
Ew.
I'm impish.
Big
What
impin'.
does that mean? I'm imping.
Big impin'.
So, if you wanted to flirt, you chose the cheek.
Yeah.
Those in love put a beauty spot beside the eye.
Ew.
Interesting.
A spot on the chin indicated roguishness or playfulness. And then a patch on the nose, cheekiness, which I don't know what the difference is between those two. Playfulness
What?
and cheekiness.
Impish and cheekiness
Well,
is the same thing.
rogue means maybe more dominant, more rogue.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm taking control of this.
Dude, back in the 1600s in America, if you got caught being a rogue in America and had no like roots or foothills, they brand you with an R right on your face.
What rogue?
Rogue meaning like you weren't trustable.
Oh.
You went rogue. Yeah, like when things
Yeah.
go rogue, they're out of control. Yeah. Yeah. And the forehead was reserved for the proud. For
Forehead?
for the forehead.
Forehead?
Was for proud women, I
So
Like-
akin to a bindi?
guess. You know what? That's what I was wondering.
Yeah.
But I know it's totally different things.
Yeah, because they're centered
Right in
there.
the middle,
Yeah.
it's a portal for for which all light
Whatever it is.
rejuvenation enter the human
Yeah.
form, something
I'm,
like that.
I'm no expert on that.
Um,
but yeah, I'm curious where the position.
oh my God, I'm not even going to say it. Never. I might have to cut it out. I thought you meant Hindi, but you said Bindi.
I think that's what they're called, right?
I'm pretty yeah,
Yeah.
you're
The
right.
girl's name in the office?
Mindy
Kaling.
Mindy Kaling.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
like Mindy Kaling.
Yeah. But no,
Bindi.
Like
I'm,
Kelly.
I'm curious where on the forehead was.
I just wanted to talk about our relationship.
Yeah.
No,
I am pregnant.
I am pregnant.
that's a good episode.
No, yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm just curious.
Go ahead, Phil.
Where fuck. I'm just curious where on the
I'm,
forehead.
I'm trying to be like overly polite and let you speak
would
if
they
you need
wear
to.
these different settings? Would that be like for if they were going to like a dinner party or something?
Yeah, and
they'd
then
be
they
like,
would
"Oh,
like-
I'm ready to fuck." talk. Like
yeah, it's literally like to display the level of how ready they were to fuck or not. I guess.
There's some oil magnates here. I need that dot as close to my eye as possible.
Yeah. There's prospectors here.
He works in Pittsburgh and steel. Put it right here.
So that meant what? Playful?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, playful or cheeky or something, cheekiness or something like this.
What is...
So I like this next one. Sometimes you had to talk through a tube.
It's like the first glory hole.
Sometimes if you were a Puritan, you had to talk through a tube. If you were a Puritan singleton in colonial America, you were often not allowed to be put alone with a potential mate.
You colonial singleton.
Yeah.
A courting stick I'm seeing.
Well, a courting stick is what it was called. You would have to speak through a courting stick, a hollow tube about 6 feet long through which they could talk to each other while keeping their bodies at a safe, God-approved distance.
Oh, so this is akin to like copulating through a sheet.
Yes.
Like some like
Mennonites put the board in between.
Yeah.
Are you feeling cheeky or impish? Look at my gut, stupid.
Yeah. Oh, it's better than soaking.
Yeah.
So.
Bundling.
Okay.
What's the thing? In 18th century American paramours, which I guess is like suitors, were given rare moments of privacy. It came with severe limitations. Consider the particular customs of bundling. Every one of these, I fucking hate this article because they always start with consider this. Like, I'm already fucking reading it. I am considering it. Just fucking tell me.
Just fucking say it.
Like, what are you talking? Why are you talking to me like you're in a fucking Twilight Zone episode?
Yeah, it's like Shakespearean. Just shut up.
Submitted for your approval, bundling, in which the couple slept together, fully clothed, sometimes tied in a sack, sometimes with a wooden board placed between them.
That I've heard of.
And sometimes both. The idea was to allow them to talk and get to know each other without risking skin contact. Phil, I'm really glad we got married.
Yeah. I got wood.
Awake?
No, in between us.
You awake? Yeah. I got wood between us. What do you think this is? Like when you're in bed, like, what do you think this is? Mahogany? Or
I'm ready for you.
The things that just proved our brains were fucked back then.
Yes.
We're so stupid.
Yeah.
The board between them
like
is what
was going to stop
it.
you.
Yeah, dumb
like,
people.
Who's going to say, like, oh, yeah, we kept the board between us all night. Yeah, it was there. It was there. It was there. Yeah.
Just be yourself.
The rules of courtship were mind-bogglingly strict as well. So,
that's a tough word to say. Bogglingly.
Mind-bogglingly. Bogglingly. That doesn't help. The bung car. So an unmarried woman under 30 could not be in the presence of a gentleman without the watchful gaze of a chaperone. If you were lucky, the chaperone might nod off and you could steal a kiss. That's fucking stupid. That's fucking awkward.
Yeah.
The rules also dictated that women couldn't even speak to a man without being introduced first.
Good times.
Wow. Touching a member of the opposite sex was forbidden, except for very specific situations like dancing and probably like if there was dying or something. No, I can't touch her. She's a woman.
Are you dying?
You're dying?
I'm touching this dying woman.
Don't do it. Get a tube first.
Wait, look, it said touching was forbidden, like, unless a man was giving a lady a hand when the road was uneven.
Okay.
That's a euphemism.
My road's uneven.
I'm paved and ready for you.
Is it smooth down there? No, it's uneven. It's paved. It's paved.
Are we taking the gravel driveway tonight, baby?
No, we're paved. We're paved.
Got a whole bunch of road rash.
And if you weren't careful, you could find yourself.
We're going to the mud bogs.
Oh, God damn it. The mud bogs.
That's a poop bear.
It's like Kyle's last episode. Angel semen.
Yeah.
Phil just called it. You went right to it. There's poop there.
Yeah, there's poop there.
There's dingleberries there. And if you weren't careful, you could find yourself making a costly mistake. In Regency era England, the early 19th century, that is, if you danced, like, just say that.
Yeah.
In the 19th century, if you danced with the same person more than twice, that was a big deal. You might even be considered engaged if you just danced with them twice.
That's so weird.
Right?
Also, my thing was also probably accurate because they did not bathe very well back then.
No, they did not.
Yeah.
Dude, the ring around the rosies thing was ring around the rosy, pocket full of posies, meaning they kept flowers on them, so they smelled so bad.
Right.
Yeah. Flowers don't even smell that hard, so it's like you probably smell like shit.
Flowers
all the time.
don't even smell that strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Hygiene in the Victorian era was the other thing I was going to touch on because that was disgusting
because of the plague. So
because dating, a big part of dating is getting intimate and getting to know each other, and you're really close, and it's like, did they even brush their fucking teeth?
Their asses
you know what I
stunk
mean?
in the Victorian
They
era.
had to have. There's no air conditioning.
Breath
It's hot
smell.
as shit.
asses smelled. They didn't know dental hygiene.
So I in thinking about prepping for this topic on the podcast, I thought about that very thing, and I've pulled up an article for that as well. And it says, what was hygiene like in the Victorian era? So practically every book, movie, TV show was made in the last century refers to the Victorian era, that it's like this romantic period, right? Mm-hmm. Beautiful gowns, homes, blah, blah, blah. But they're actually pretty gross, and they needed books on teaching them how to bathe properly and shit like that, right?
So, idiots.
So the first one I saw was that they bleached their clothes with their own urine. Where laundry was concerned, Victorians often used more than soap to clean their clothing. Grease and oil stains were regularly combated by rubbing chalk into clothing, while kerosene would remove grass stains and blood stains. Milk was a go-to cleaner to remove urine stains and odors. In a similar vein, Victorians used their own urine to bleach clothes since urine had ammonia in it.
Wow.
So they're washing their clothes in their own piss. So how good can it smell to start with? That's clean clothes.
Yeah, I thought about that.
Soaked in pee.
They made their own toothpaste out of cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I was doing this.
I was also thinking like,
cuttlefish.
Yeah.
Remember South Park?
The cuttlefish and the asparagus are not sitting around.
they had to live near like a lot of like privy pots, which are essentially like dumping grounds for feces and stuff like that.
Yes.
So like, was the surrounding area smelling so bad that it didn't matter?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were dealing with literal piles of shit.
Yeah,
so it's like, you smell better than that.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah. Like, oh, cool. All right, you're roses to me.
Doesn't smell like shit. She's so hot.
Yeah, it's yeah.
I think it was.
And like, when did toilet paper come around?
Dude, so there's this book called War on the Run. It's about a guy that was
on the runs.
War on the Run. Yeah. He lived
War with the runs.
It was this guy, Robert Rogers, his name is. He lived in America, pre-colonial America. Like he literally, French and Indian War era. And he said the Native Americans didn't use leaves because certain leaves would irritate you. They would literally use acorn shells and scrape
scoop it out of your butt.
Yeah, that's what they used.
And dating with that's what you're dating with.
But if you think about it, colonial America literally came from modern era Europe at the time.
And that was the best they got.
That's what they had.
That's what they learned. And in that same vein, they did have toilets, but no indoor plumbing. Right. The first indoor toilets or water closets were popular for their convenience, but since they predated indoor plumbing itself, waste often went directly into a large cesspool in the basement.
That's why they call it in the South, when there's a big flood, they call it turd floaters, because it washes out the basins of the outhouses.
While this seemed like a ideal alternative to outhouses or chamber pots, the cesspools eventually filled and the smell often seeped into the house.
Right.
Thus arose the cottage industry of night soil men who emptied cesspools and sold their waste to farmers as fertilizer. Laws of the time stipulated that cesspools could only be emptied at night, as the task was too disturbing to undertake during the day.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Night soil men.
Yeah.
They thought bad smells were responsible for disease in the 1800s.
Shitty.
Today, bad smells are considered unpleasant at most but Victorians were convinced that foul odors were dangerous.
Right.
It's called the miasma theory, M-I-A-S-M-A theory, also known as night air. Even Florence Nightingale believed it.
Florence Nightingale?
Yep.
Really?
And did you ever hear of the Great Stink of 1858?
No. Inform us.
Even modern cities have a certain aroma during the heat of summer, but the stench emanating from London in 1858 shut the city down.
Whoa.
The now picturesque River Thames, T-H-A-M-E-S, was it?
Thames.
Thames?
Yeah.
Thank you. The now picturesque River Thames was once the hub of the London sewage system, meaning citizens simply disposed of their waste in that river.
It's the river that the London Bridge is under.
Oh, nice. Okay. Londoners complained.
Smell like shit.
Londoners complained about the river's foul odors, and doctors cited the stench as the cause of the rampant disease. Again, that miasma theory thing.
Well, it's like that one fucking river that they all bathe in India once a year.
Oh God,
and it's
the
like,
Ganges.
don't go in there. Don't go in there. Don't go in there.
Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah.
It's a Ganges River.
Yeah, I think so.
The Ganges, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's
and
a
then
big one.
it was so gross that everybody was complaining about it. And then the summer of 1858 eventually became known as the Great Stink. Only when the river winds blew towards Parliament did the lawmakers actually take action.
That's the only time it affected them. It doesn't smell like shit. Now it does. Take care of it.
And in 18 days they passed a bill to get modern sewage systems built in London.
Wow.
Yeah.
As soon as it affected the politicians,
Thanks
then
to
they
the
changed
wind.
it. That didn't change.
Nope,
Apparently,
nothing changes.
They used eggs in their hair to wash their hair.
Yuck.
Ew.
Their makeup was full of lead. I think we knew that. And
then the never mind.
Yeah, the lead was used to darken the hair.
But like, I forget when the radium makeup came out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what era that was, but yeah, women was wearing makeup with radium.
And it was turning them crazy.
Yeah.
The white makeup, the makeup that made them look pale.
Yeah.
And if they wore enough of it, it literally made you go insane.
Yeah.
See, and that's probably where like the crazy things come from. Like I always
beauty
wondered
standards?
this. Not
Or-
beauty standards. This is what I always wondered. Like the old tales of like, oh, this person was possessed or these crazy things. Didn't it just get? She probably just was fucking crazy from all the lead in her face
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like the
Whatever chemicals.
radium or whatever was in
Yeah.
her face.
Yeah.
That's all it was. They just didn't know. So like, oh my God, she's a witch.
Well, it's like George Washington. Part of
Burner.
his teeth were made of lead.
Yeah.
He had
Yeah.
his
It won't
uppers and
burn him.
bottom. And
He'll catch on fire because the rest are wood.
he had lead in his teeth and it was seeping into his blood, and that's why they think he crossed the Delaware, because everyone was too crazy. Like, dude, that shit's frozen.
It's bad
There's a
shit.
snowstorm. He's like, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Exactly, man. That's what I'm saying. Like all these people, all these crazy lores about like mythical beings and stuff like that. Saw the Loch Ness monster, saw Bigfoot. These people were just nuts. And with
Weird.
no other proof at the time that anything was wrong, anything amiss.
Dude, I've heard things where there's a book called Food of the Gods by Graham Hancock, where he literally talks about how psilocybin, there was so much, all right, backtrack, there was so much shit from humans and livestock back in the day, and they didn't know what to do with it. It dealt with the production of psilocybin mushrooms was a result of all this shit.
Yeah, see?
And they think that a couple people got a hold of those mushrooms, had psychedelic trips, and literally formed modern religion.
Yeah, see, that makes so much goddamn sense. I
It
mean,
does.
look at the first fucking episode of our podcast when PJ went on for a half hour talking about the barn breathing and shit.
It was 45 minutes.
It was a long time. It was a long time. He saw a lot of shit in one afternoon, man.
And then the grass was breathing.
And somebody who doesn't know that that's what mushrooms did to them comes out of it and they're like, I can't believe that shit just happened to me. I got to write this down. New Testament.
Bro, were you okay? You were breathing hard. I saw God. Like, what the fuck?
He was walking on water.
Yeah, dude.
That water is wine now.
Yeah.
And he's
He was
purple.
walking.
And the barn is breathing.
They just couldn't explain it, so they went with the closest step to logic they possibly could.
Which was
They
God.
were so
Wild,
there was
yeah,
no
yeah.
grocery
Which was
stores
God.
back then. So if you saw something you could eat, you would eat it. And if they saw
Exactly.
There's a
mushrooms,
great. I have a book on my Audible. It's all about the people who tried stuff and died.
See, like, who was the first person
did you
to
have
do
anything
this?
about Hoffman when he discovered LSD?
I haven't listened to it yet. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
a professor who was literally trying to make something to compete with penicillin using mold spores. Accidentally, call it Bicycle Day. Look it up. This guy, he created literally what modern day LSD was. He took it and every day he would ride his bicycle to notice if it had a psychological effect. He would go on the same route with his bicycle. Well, the day he figured out LSD, he went all over the place. So then he did experiments on, it sucks, but he did experiments on animals. He had 2 spiders. One spider was just a normal spider, had a cool looking web and like all this cool shit.
Oh,
and
I've
ate
seen
bugs.
this experiment.
And then
Oh,
he
yeah,
gave
the
that
spider web.
He
Yeah.
gave
thing.
the other spider the fucking mold spores that
Yeah.
he had on Bicycle Day, and the web was like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?"
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it was
wild.
all over the place.
One cat was like, "Meow." The other cat was like, like fucking foaming at
that's
the mouth
crazy.
and shit.
That's
So he
wild.
literally created LSD out of a mold that happened in nature. Back then, they had no refrigeration. Back then, they had no modern food preservation practices.
Yeah, so they're
The art of
eating
canning.
mold too at
Those-
points.
Yeah.
Canning didn't happen until the late 1860s.
So all
you're
these
talking
people
somebody
at one point are having
yes,
bad trips and thinking that they're having seeing apparitions and talking to God.
They
and
would
shit.
have
And
those
it's true.
hallucinations.
Yeah.
And not say, wow, that was because of the mold, or wow, that was because of the shit mushrooms. They're like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
So they would document that, and that's what people took as
and that's
gospel.
where it came from. I'm convinced that's the case.
And to tie it back into dating, I listened to a recent interview with Catherine Hahn. I don't know if you know who that is. Yeah,
of course.
She was like, every year, her and her husband have one sexual experience where they trip. They're like they do a trip and they have like a sexual experience together, and apparently it's like good for their relationship.
Wow, that actually might be fun. That actually sounds like it might be fun. Like a whole day. Wow, that's awesome. But
I was like, hey, you want to try? No, I didn't get it very far.
No, no.
Before we get back to dating, a guy I know goes, hey man, he goes, my daughter came to me and said, I have these chocolates that are mushroom infused. They're made in Colorado. They're legit. They're like,
Caps.
Whatever. Yeah. And he goes, I took one and they're fucking great. He's like, I think you'd really like it. I'm like,
her daughter said this to him.
His daughter said it to him. Yeah. I was like, all right, get me a pack. I'll take a pack. He bought me one. I paid him for it and I took it and I haven't had it yet. It gives you on the back of the chocolate, it gives you an experience. It's like, you want to fucking trip ass? Here, eat the whole thing. You want to have a micro experience? Have this much. Or you want to have a...
Don't do it by yourself.
Microdose? Have that.
Yeah.
I know. So I'm still figuring out like when I'm going to do this. But I want to do it. But I don't want to have... I don't want to have... The thing PJ said might have been cool for him. I don't want that. I don't want to think my grass is blue and breathing.
5 gram hero dose.
No, I don't want to do a hero dose.
Yeah.
Seth Rogen's book, yearbook.
I have it. I read
Remember that story where he's talking about his mushroom trip in France or whatever it was?
Yes. Yeah. No, it was in Nice, I think.
In Nice, in Italy. Yes. And it sounds fucking terrifying the way he's describing it.
But it changed his career. It changed
Whatever.
his
I don't
path.
care about that. I'm talking about the moment that he is having it. That's not my point. My point is that the moment he's having it and the way he's describing it, it sounds fucking terrifying. It doesn't sound like fun.
It doesn't sound fun.
And it wasn't fun for him. Dude,
Maybe
PJ...
with the right person, Catherine Hahn, maybe.
Well, Catherine Hahn, yeah. But, dude, PJ's experience, he sounded so happy and enlightened telling it, and this is no disrespect to PJ, but it sounded fucking terrifying.
It did. It sounded weird, man.
He's like, the barn was blue and it was breathing. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
I don't want to. I like freak out as soon as I lose control. Like when it comes to like too much weed or
that's a us thing though,
and I don't like that. So I know I wouldn't like the trip from mushrooms or something either. I just know I wouldn't.
That's why I want to start with a microdose. I want to do like a tiny. That's why I think you should do weed gummies, but like a teeny bit.
I have, but I've done too much.
And then you just sleep.
Yeah. I'm not pure in the eyes of the Lord.
Why is this a thing? We'll get back to. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A little like a 10 milligram gummy and 1 8% IPA. I could sit and play Call of Duty and just chill hard for like 3 hours. It's just like the best. It's the coolest, like the chillest experience.
So what's your question?
Why is that like? Why does that make it different? Why does it change?
Because it works with your body chemistry.
Chemicals.
Chemistry? Yeah. All right. Cool. Go ahead.
Okay. Back to dating. Yeah. I got to wrap the segment up. I did find 3 videos that I thought were pretty funny in relation to dating. So I want you to tell me which one you want to see first. I got courtship versus dating.
Okay.
Which is kind of like religious-y.
Okay.
I got dating videos.
Okay.
And I got one called Instant Adoring Boyfriend.
Instant adoring boyfriend.
There you go.
Okay. Absolutely. Phil, what do you think?
I already heard it. I heard it.
Is this found footage fest?
Yeah. So
Oops, sorry. That was wrong.
let's just see what this is.
Oh, hi, honey. I didn't hear you come in.
Oh, God.
Wow. Have you done something to your hair? You must wait.
Weights just appear.
Just gotta get something.
It's Phil in high school.
Yeah, you know.
Okay, this high concept video was meant to provide virtual love and companionship to very lonely women.
Oh, no.
He shows them with flowers.
For you today. For no particular reason other than to tell you that I adore you.
Pause.
What?
Do you know why this is dangerous? Because women think that there's actually people that are like this, and they hold out for it, and then they don't date anybody.
And also, I want you to try to figure out what fucking accent this is, because I can't.
It's New Zealand.
How about a nice big slice of that chocolate cake in the fridge?
It's Northern Australian for sure.
Here you go.
Bro.
All the whipped cream.
I'll put it down here. Oh, I'm sorry. I completely forgot I agreed to meet you and the guys at the pub tonight. I've promised to spend some quality time with my beloved this evening.
Ew.
I'm going to carry on with my workout.
What does he have
keep
a
myself
crew
beautiful,
shirt
I'm
on?
gonna keep you.
Looks like.
and he's just working out, and it's just so weird.
Workouter. It's made me all hot and sweaty. Listen, do you mind if I go and take a shower? Love is in the air.
He has diarrhea shits.
Everywhere I look around.
He's saying.
That's better. So what do you feel like
That was
doing
every
this week?
woman's fantasy. That was a 5-minute shower.
I've got no plans for the next few evenings. Apart from spending as much time as possible with you, of course.
Ew.
But guess what?
Guess what?
They're doing a special deal at the video store on romantic comedy movies.
It's like he's cooking it for you.
Yeah. It's companionship for me.
And then women are like, "There's guys that do that."
Yeah.
So here's another quick one that I thought was funny. This gal's on the phone with a hot hunk, but the Lord is gonna help steer her straight.
Wait, is this found footage too?
I'll play the hot hunk.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm gonna play the hot hunk.
Oh, you're gonna play the
No,
hot
I'm
hunk?
just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Hello, who is it?
Hello, who is it? Who answers the phone like
Hello,
that?
who is it?
Fucking idiot with your matching pajamas. Shut the fuck up.
Barb, what are you doing? Nancy! Can you even believe
What is
how
she
amazing
holding?
much we
Pause it.
learned at one weekend at a
Is she holding a voodoo doll of a monkey?
I don't know what that is.
What is
she
that?
holding?
Ew.
Yeah, it's weird.
Ew.
Fire the Fire? About life and love and happiness and security in our faith? And, of course, sex.
I got this at Kohl's.
And of course, sex.
Love and happiness and security in our faith? And, of course, sex. Nancy! My precious moments are listening.
Her precious what?
I don't know. I couldn't
Precious
tell you.
moments.
Oh.
Are listening, and she's holding her heart like Nancy. You said sex.
That means
Pearl
your
clutched.
your ancestors.
yeah, clutching the pearls.
Precious moments, like your
okay.
ancestors are listening from heaven.
Absence of sex, silly? Remember courting, not dating? Gag me, dating? Oh, never.
There's the episode.
Gag me.
Gag me.
There it is. Full Slice
Courting,
Podcast.
not
Dating. Gag me.
Gag me, dating? Oh, never. Well, remember that when Kurt
So
called.
pause it. That's a Valley Girl statement. That you remember early Valley Girl?
never.
She'd
Like,
be like,
whatever.
Gag me with a spoon. That
Oh,
was the
yeah,
thing.
I
That
remember
Oh,
that.
I was thinking of as if, whatever.
Same
no,
thing.
duh.
Same vibe,
similar.
bro.
Yeah.
No, duh.
Sorry.
But
The fuck?
gag me in this context is rough.
Yeah.
Gag me in my pajamas. Look at this guy.
Oh, here comes Kurt.
remember that
Oh,
when
cock to
Kurt
the
called.
floor enters the page.
Here's Kurt.
Hey, baby.
Kurt, what are you calling for?
You called me, or am I answering the call of the wild?
I don't think I understand.
Look at his Gold Gym's Gold's
Am I
Gym.
answering the call of the wild?
Man, what's that squeaking noise?
My penis.
I'm sorry, that must be my deltoid rubbing up against the phone cord.
He's such a sweaty hunk of beefy machismo. Remember what the Word of God said. Look, Kurt,
Machismo?
I don't think this is going to work out.
I knew it! You tramp! You act all friendly like I'm gonna get something out of it, and then you clam up like some holy prude.
Wait right there! How dare you demean my Christian beliefs?
Wait right
you
there.
need to believe in something bigger than your bicep, buddy. I dare you to treat women with
Well.
respect. In the meantime, I dare you to be a man.
What the fuck? Oh, found footage.
Found footage.
Yeah.
Dude. Yo, Found Footage Fest is some of the funniest shit ever.
That's good.
And then the last one I got here to wrap up the show. This is just standard 80s video dating, right? So this is just a highlight of some of the best lines that I thought. Let's see what we can pick out our favorites from this here. You're looking for love. Oh, yeah. This should have been the intro song.
He looks like Road Rash.
Okay, early to bed, early to rise makes a woman healthy, wealthy, and wise. That's why you're wiser than me.
Is he wearing
Oh my God.
Boy, you're
Is he wearing a workout belt?
Yeah, what
like
is he
like
wearing?
a deadlifting belt, it looks like.
He's also wearing padding in his chest.
Wait. You know what he looks like? He looks like one of the 80s monster truck drivers that was in Tommy's program.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
like Ned Flanders without the glasses.
Healthy, wealthy, and wise.
Also, he's
That's
wearing
why you're
pattern, though.
wiser
Who
than
says
me.
wise like
It's
that?
Steven.
Voice.
Hi, I'm Maurice. I'm an executive by day and a wild man by night.
Hi, my name's Monroe.
Wild.
You've probably already noticed that I have incredibly blue eyes.
Oh my God.
Look at this guy.
What the fuck is this David Blaine?
Dude, he's
abomination?
missing a chromosome.
Do fashion photography. I took a sponge ball, was pulling him out of a little girl's ear. I'm looking for the goddess.
What?
Are you the goddess? Who is the goddess? The goddess is the woman, is a woman, is any woman, is all women.
I'm a 25-year subscriber to both
Is that
Playboy
Wilford
and the
Brimley?
New Yorker magazine.
He just tells them, I've been subscribed to Playboy for 25 years.
Go back to the Rose guy. Back
Is
that up.
women,
Listen
all
to this.
women,
I'm going to translate it. Ready?
The goddess is the woman, is a woman.
I'm going to
is
fuck
any
anything.
Woman,
I'll fuck anything.
is all women.
I'll fuck anything that walks. Literally, a
5-year
woman.
subscriber to both Playboy and the New Yorker magazine.
What does that mean?
What does that mean? Yeah.
Wait, what is this guy about to say? I think I just
both
messed up.
Playboy and the New
Listen to the next
Yorker
guy.
magazine.
No fatties.
That is a touchdown. That is a win.
Fatties.
I want it all. No dopers, no smokers, no alcoholics. I steal watches. No posers.
I steal watches.
I steal watches.
No dopers, no smokers, no alcoholics. I steal watches.
He looks like Walter Goggins.
You did.
No, he looks like Jim Carrey in The Liar.
I was going to say, you look like Jim Carrey.
In
too.
Liar.
No posers. We don't like to write checks. No hamsters.
What the fuck's a hamster?
It's the little rodent with his collar.
In this context. Is it like
I know.
I answered you like assholes.
Yeah. What is that? What is
Take
that?
out the garbage. What I'm doing right now is
That's
making
serial
a
killer.
movie about World War II. No Donna Juanita.
Dude, that's Tyler if he was born in the 80s.
Take out
making a video about World War
the garbage. What I'm doing right now is making a movie about World War II.
That's me?
Yeah, that's 80s
No
Tyler.
Donna Juanitas. And I'm
That's
currently
racist.
What's a
That looks
what's a
he
Donna
looks
Juanita?
Like racist, like
Mexican woman.
yeah.
Oh my God.
involved in cleaning
He
up
looks like
toxic waste.
Rob Lowe.
Do you like
Little bit.
cats?
Do you like cats? Yes.
God, these
And
people
that's just a little taste of what it was like to subscribe to a dating service in the 80s. You
What
get this
woman
tape.
would see that?
I wish they all ended up in Desert
You get
Storm.
that tape, you play it, and you're like, I liked number 4, 8, and 3, and then you get their contact info. That's how that would go.
I hope they all ended up lonely.
You know what?
What,
I think it's worth looking into, but I think maybe Ellen's show followed up on some of those people.
Ellen
Ellen DeGeneres back in the day.
Nuh-uh.
She did. Yeah, like Maurice and stuff like. Yeah, she found him.
And she abused her.
Yeah, but it's weird now. I mean, nowadays specifically, you got all these things like you used to have to send. You used to like make mixtapes for your love. Now what do? Send them funny videos, on TikTok.
Memes.
I mean,
that
a lot of
this reminded
our
me of you.
experience was making sure your profile was up to
Bro.
snuff.
Yeah, the top 8.
Yeah.
The top 8 had to
Yep.
have cool motherfuckers in it.
Yep.
You need to have an animal picture, an adventure picture, you in the city, you with friends that you know.
Bro,
your
you in the
friends.
city was fucking
What's that?
huge.
Like the types. We kind of went over it on the PJ.
You had to have a photo
Yeah.
of you in a city environment in
like,
New York City.
There's a
Oh, yeah.
couple of prereqs for to get interested in
holding a fish.
Yeah. I was gonna
holding
mock you,
fishing.
but yeah, you're right. You're completely right.
just you doing cool shit.
Yeah, adventurous would require
Bro,
hiking.
holding a fish. This
hiking your
sheet,
fish.
this bed sheet was like prime.
Yeah,
Like
Prime what?
2010's dating.
he showed his stains.
Gross.
No, like this sheet be like, yo, look.
This
I'm
was
not-
your sheet in 2010 Prime dating?
No, stupid. I'm saying it's
With bears on it.
and no fishing,
Black
camp,
light.
cast iron.
Oh, you're talking about
lures.
the
I'm saying
things.
the theme. Like, if a girl was like, "Yo, this is your sheet," like, why do you have this? Just because I like to hunt, fish, and fucking cook.
So which one's the fuck?
Yeah, where's the fuck?
Which
one?
one's
Is
the
this-
fuck?
is this
The lure.
Yeah.
The lure, maybe?
No, camp out. That's the fuck.
The boat oar.
The bears.
Or
the
the hat.
fucking.
No, not fuck. I meant fucking. Like fucking.
The oar.
No shit.
Fish basket.
You would have shit.
Shit.
A frying pan with an egg in it.
We had a
think
great
that
fishing
means sex,
experience.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sex.
That definitely means sex. I learned about the birds and the bees on
so
this
primitive.
show.
This is
On
sex.
this
That
show.
means sex.
This is-
What are you
I learned
Russian?
about
He's a
that
good
on the
provider.
show.
He can get a loaf of bread.
I had fun remembering about my awkward years.
Yeah, man. It's that time of year again. If you're getting back after it, there's a little bit warmer outside. Just remember, just take it easy. Take it cool. Be yourself.
If you're single, let us know what are the weird things that are happening on these dating apps.
I would
Yeah.
love to have somebody
Yeah.
come in that's like a serial dater and tell us about modern dating.
So
Like,
I
'cause
mean,
these
dude, I'm like,
days-
I'm almost 10 years into my. No,
I'm 9
yeah.
years out of dating.
Yeah.
9 years.
10 for me.
Yeah. Dude, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I would
man.
love to hear that. If you have any funny dating stories, just drop it in the comments on these reels.
Do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, man. That's it for Full Slice Podcast. Until the next time.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Welcome to Full Slice Podcast. I see you have your black tie, your basketball shorts, and your Uggs. You need a haircut, and you haven't shaved in 5 days. Welcome aboard, my friend. Enjoy your stay.